Welcome, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. My name is Fabian. With me here on stage, my friend and colleague Will. We're both program managers for Azure Files and Azure File Sync. I'm actually really delighted how many people of you show up here at a Friday afternoon at the last slot of the show. That's pretty cool. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So we actually have a very full program. 45 minutes isn't a lot of time. So let's dive right in. I want to talk a little bit to you about Azure Files, Azure File Sync, what's new, what have we done in the last year, what are we going to do in the next couple of months. But before we do that, I just want to touch quickly base on what Azure File Shares are. Because some of you are familiar with them, some of you, I've kind of talked to some of you in the audience so far, so I kind of get the feeling that there isn't everybody knowing about them in detail, so I'll just dive right in there. And I'll say an Azure File Share is a fully managed share in Azure. It's basically a platform as a service offering that Microsoft has where you just go to the Azure Marketplace, deploy a storage account, and inside you can have file shares. Native file storage, no need for a VM, no need for something to patch, update, configure storage. All of this is taken care of. You just get a file share. So on premises, for instance, on a client, I can just use the SMB protocol. And I can access my file share just as I would any other file share. I can also tunnel this through a VPN, of course. We have more about that in just a moment. And we also have Azure File Sync, being able to give you that cache on premises. It uses a different protocol. We have a REST protocol that we offer, and that uses port 443. And as part of this session, we're also going to announce NFS 4.1 support for Azure File Shares. So this is a really good offering that we want to give you a sneak peek for, and Will has a great demo about that in just a moment. So all of the protocols that you can use from on-premises, of course, you can use them in an IaaS solution as well, or if you like to build a platform as a service application, the REST protocol is also available. So you can go ahead and just use that. So now that we know what Azure File Shares are, what can you do with them? What are they good for? Well, they're pretty much just SMB shares. Use them for what you use them today. And the two main columns or the two main scenarios are for us app lift and shift, which really means you take your on-premises app, you lift it to the cloud, you probably put it in a VM, and if your app requires an SMB access to some backend storage, or if you want to mount an Azure File Share to a VM, just as you would on premises, so you have some persistent shared storage, you can do that with an Azure File Share, no problem. And the other scenario that we have is the general purpose file server scenario. And in the general purpose scenario, we are basically looking at Office documents, CAD drawings. We're looking at VDI infrastructure that you are wanting to run in the cloud. So you can use an Azure File Share there. And of course, we will offer you with Azure File Sync an on-premises cache in those locations where you need it. So speaking of Azure File Sync, let's quickly touch base on what Azure File Sync is. We released that service about 2 years ago, and it's GA for about a year. So it's an in-market offering. You can use it today. And Azure File Sync basically has the file share in its center. And you will be able to do multi-site sync to multiple on-premises servers. So that means if you have a server in your headquarters and servers in branch offices or in 20 branch offices, you can just go ahead and install the Azure File Sync agent on server 2012 R2 or newer, and you'll be able to connect that to an Azure File Share. And of course, you can connect a single server to many file shares just as you need. We also just work on a file server, which means all of the stuff that you use the file server for today just transparently keep working. So if you're using SMB or NFS on the Windows server to share access with your users and applications, you can just let them connect to the file server as they do today. And in the back end, you use, as an admin, you use File Sync, and nothing is different to the user. Another very important aspect is cloud tiering. With cloud tiering, we're starting to transform your server into something very different. Basically, we're transforming it from the storage-hungry beast where every year you have to buy new disks, you have to add new storage to your file server because your data set's growing. You can now, with cloud tiering, basically evaluate on your namespace and figure out what are the hot files. which files should you keep on premises, which files should you tier to the cloud. And your server is going to build a heat map, and it does exactly that using the last access timestamp, or not the last access, tracks last access, tracks frequency of access, and builds the heat map that way. So over time, your server, if it runs out of space, prioritizes the hot data to keep in your local cache, and tiers the cold data to the cloud. Another very important aspect that also takes away a big pain point of running a file server on premises is backup. Now that you're syncing all of your file shares to the cloud, you no longer have to back up on premises. Because if system backup is often not necessary, you can just have a system image lying around, rebuild your server, no problem. But what about the data? The data sits in the Azure File Share, and you can go ahead and just protect that via Azure Backup and many other backup vendors that you might be familiar with or you might be having existing relationships with. So what about disasters? Well, we've built a performance cache. The data sits in the cloud. We don't really lose anything when we lose the server. So with fast disaster recovery, you can just bring in a brand new server, brand new storage, nothing on it. And the first thing that happens when you connect it to a file share is the whole namespace comes down. Just the namespace, none of the file content. And that makes the whole server available to your users very, very quickly. So you don't have to wait until a whole restore happened, or you don't have to wait until a whole download of all of your data happened. You can basically go ahead and open up the server for consumption right away. And as your users do that, your cache is starting to form. And we're starting to see which files are hot, and then these things are just being cached. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's new in Azure File Shares since our last Ignite presentation. There's a lot of stuff that has happened. And so I want to start with a very, very important aspect of Azure File Sync, which is we've grown the file share size from 5 terabytes to 100 terabytes per file share. And right now, it's available in 14 regions, and we keep rolling this out across the world. And it's an opt-in, so you can transform your existing 5 terabyte share. You can transform that to a 100 terabyte share, but it's an opt-in. You have to do that manually. And when you do opt-in, you also get higher performance. We're increasing the performance from 1,000 IOPS to 10,000 IOPS for our standard storage offering. And speaking of standard, we also have a premium tier for Azure File Shares. And that one goes up to 100,000 IOPS with bursting 3 times as high, so 300,000 IOPS. Good throughput and numbers, and it's a really good place for you to run database applications or applications that have bursting behavior, for instance. All right, and last but not least, we have Azure Active Directory Domain Services integration, which we GA'd a couple of weeks ago. So you'll be able to use this hosted AD instance in the cloud if you have it. There's no need to set it up if you don't have another use for it, because Will is going to show you how you can do AD integration in just a moment. So what are the new things that we're going to talk about in Azure File Shares at this show? So the first thing I want to mention is we are in true file server fashion. We want to cater to the files that ideally suited to be stored on a file server. And so we need to consider the file sizes that you can store in Azure File Shares. And we increased that recently from 1 terabyte to 4 terabytes per file. We also are very, very close to announce Azure Backup GA towards the end of the year. And that means that you can schedule your snapshots, get help in restore, and have that full functionality of a backup solution as a Paas service if you like to set that up. We're also going to talk about AD join. And Will is having the demo in a moment, so I'll leave that for him to talk about, and as well as NFS integration. Just as I previously mentioned, Will has a good demo for this too, so we'll go there in a moment. But before I move on, there's one more very, very important announcement that I want to make, which is we're going to introduce additional tiers for your Azure File Shares. And these additional tiers will help you optimize cost and performance for your individual workloads, because some of your shares probably see heavy usage, some of your shares might be very cold. So you should be able to select the right storage tier in Azure so that you have the best cost-performance relationship. So when we consider the spectrum of high performance to low-cost long-term storage, we have our premium file shares that we just talked about. They sit on SSDs, and they're really good like for database offerings or for storing databases or higher performance application workloads. Then we also have our standard share that's in market for a while. Now, standard in the wake of these new tiers is going to get renamed. We're going to give it a typical Microsoft name, transaction optimized. And well, it really is a fitting name because it is optimized for transactions. If you have an application working against it that doesn't quite need the performance of a premium share, you're really going to get a good relationship between storage at rest cost and very, very low transaction costs. The new tiers that we're going to announce are a hot tier and a cool tier. So the hot tier is really somewhere in the middle. The cool tier is what we call an online archive. There is no recall delay. It all sits on HDDs. You can instantly or easily switch between those tiers. So you select a tier for your entire share, and once these tiers become available, you can go to the Azure portal and you can say, you know what? My existing standard file share that I have today, I just want to make that a cool share. And you can do that just with a click of a button. There will be no copying happening in the background. There is no downtime. So you can easily switch between them. And as your workload requirements change, maybe you start out with something that's very warm, you move to cool, or you have something that's cool that suddenly becomes more interesting to your users and applications, you can move that up the tier just to match the cost and performance equation. So when we talk about price, the premium tier that we have at 24 cents in the US per gigabyte, the transaction optimized or standard tier, we sit at 6 cents per gigabyte and with low transaction costs. And the new tiers, the hot tier is going to reduce the cost of storage at rest by more than half. At 2.55 cents, this is going to be a really good price point with reasonable transaction costs. And then we have our online archive tier, the cool tier, at just 1.5 cents per gigabyte at rest. That is a very, very good price for storage. And we have higher transaction costs. So this is really a question of balancing your access versus your storage at rest costs. So now that I have covered sort of the basics, I want to give it over to Will. He's going to talk about how we can directly access the file share and what challenges we can solve.
Thanks, Fabian. So I just want to take the brief moment to echo Fabian. I think we're so excited to see all of you here last day of the show, nearly last session of the show. So when we talk about our direct file share access, what I just said was thank you for coming. We're excited that you're here. When we talk about the direct file share access, what we're really thinking about is using that serverless file share just directly against the file share without having an on-premises server. So Azure File Sync has been a great way that we've seen a lot of growth and a lot of satisfied customers off of it, but we don't want to force you to have to use Azure File Sync to be able to use a serverless file share. So when you think about how you access your file share, really there are today provided 3 main ways. So we give you this shared key, or we often refer to it as the storage account key mechanism. And because this is the kind of thing that, it's a shared password effectively to your file share, it's really more for admin use because you can get into the share, you can create, delete new shares, you can modify any file. Not ideal for the on-prem user scenario. With shared access signatures, we give you the ability to do scripting. And so this is like letting you sort of constrain your access or give as much or as little access as your application needs, but it's actually only a REST construct. So, an end user using a REST API via PowerShell or the CLI is really not what most people have in mind when they think replacing the on-prem file server. So really what we found customers want is this corporate identity, and not just to any Active Directory, but specifically to an Active Directory that they domain join their laptops to or servers to on-prem. So without further ado, we have a demo of this. So let me switch over here. All right, so here's my storage account. And inside this storage account, I have a file share, Project X. And I'd like to use my corporate identity to access this file share. So let me jump over to my domain controller here. And I have got this PowerShell module that I'm going to use to domain join the share. So I have this commandlet that will domain join AZ storage for account for auth. And I'll type in my resource group and my storage account name. This is how we find the file share in Azure. And then I just hit enter. And so in a couple of seconds here, you see I've created the service account in the domain controller. And I can actually verify this by saying get AD user. So quickly here, we have the identity. This is the same as the storage account name. And so basically what we've done is, in a way, we've done the offline domain join process that many of you may be familiar with from Windows. So now that this is domain joined, there's one final step that I need to do, which is give a share ACL so I can access the share. So I do that through the access control for the storage account. So I'm going to click add role assignment, and I'll give the role of the elevated contributor, which is essentially the same as full control on a Windows file share. So there's the elevated contributor, and I'll type in my username. All right. And now that this share ACL has been created, I can actually open that file share just like I expect. So let me open File Explorer, and I'll type out the storage account name. It's file.core.windows.net. And here's my file share. So you see that it didn't ask me for a username and password. It's single sign-on. So if I navigate this directory just like you expect, I could be able to see my files and even open a file. So in a way, this is really solving the replacement for what you need for an on-prem file server. So I think given how many folks have asked for this feature, probably the very first question that comes to mind is, how do I get access? We're going to be launching a limited preview for this. So there's the survey link that you'll need to fill out. We'll have this at the end, so don't worry so much about taking a quick screenshot. And then we'll do a broad preview very soon. So hopefully by the end of the year or very early next year, we'll be in broad public preview, so you can do it just without having to do the sign up. So now that, yes, thank you. So now that we've brought this to the table, I think replacing the on-prem file server is actually a practical thing that we can do. And so the first thing that you want to be able to do is mount the file share on premises, right? If you've been in the game a little bit, you might know that probably most customers and most ISPs don't let port 445 be open. And really this is to protect against some of the older SMB protocols. And I like to just point to Ned there right in the front row. So Ned will tell you you should really not be using older protocols like SMB1. But even though we give you ways to disable these, network security admins are obviously very concerned that they exist. And so just block port 445 out of abundance of caution. So you're not going to get around that. Arguing with your network security admin is probably like arguing with a brick wall. So really what you need is a way to get through the 445 to tunnel around it. So to do that, you want to be able to use a VPN. So Azure offers 3 big VPN solutions. Obviously point-to-site VPN, and so this is great for the road warrior if you're working from a conference and you need access to your file share, that kind of thing. The site-to-site VPN, which is really for the branch office or the smaller main office where you don't necessarily want to have to go push the individual point-to-site VPN connection to each computer to be able to get access to your file share. And obviously ExpressRoute, where you have a direct connection between your on-premises data center and your VNet in the cloud. So if you've been around the block a little bit with Azure networking, you may already sort of see this, but if you're new to Azure Files, you may not, which is by default, Azure Files, as Fabian mentioned, is a platform as a service offer. So our solution is open to the internet. So with an authenticated credential, the storage account key or the SaaS token or the Kerberos identity when you're logging into your file share, you can get at this storage account from anywhere. And so a lot of customers don't want that. And specifically, if I'm tunneling into my network, I want to be able to open to just my resources. So the networking team has given two main constructs that help control this. The service endpoint construct, which logically puts your storage account inside of a VNet. You still have the public IP, you still have the public DNS, but only requests coming from inside that VNet, inside one of the subnets there, are going to be accepted. And even with the authentication coming in, unless you're coming from within that VNet, you wouldn't be able to get access to the storage account. And then the other big one is private endpoints. So this is new within the last couple of weeks. Many of you may have, I know from talking to you this week, that may have gone to this session on private endpoints and private links. And basically what this is sort of the inverse of the service endpoint. So your storage account is still technically outside of the VNet, but it has actually a virtual network interface inside of one of your subnets that can be accessed from inside of that VNet with that IP address that you see on the diagram. So really what you want is to actually combine these two things. Restrict your VNet, restrict your storage account to a VNet, and also provide a private IP to identify the storage account. And then you can set up a VPN. So I've actually got a quick demo of that as well. So before the session on this VM, I actually had blocked port 445 and actually run my test against the storage account that I used in the last demo. And so now I want to actually set up the VPN. So I've got this handy script that I've made that does all the steps. So this sets, goes and grabs all the stuff and sets it up the way that Windows expects. This isn't, hidden though. We have a doc that explains how to do this. I literally copied these steps into this script. And so you see here I have a site-to-site VPN, point-to-site VPN for Windows and Linux. And we'll provide the links after the session that you can go learn how to do this step by step. So I'll quick run this script. So I'll navigate to my desktop and just quick run the script. And then at a high level, what's happening when I run this script is that I'm creating a service endpoint for my storage account and a private endpoint for my storage account. And actually then configuring Windows to use the always-on VPN functionality that exists within Windows. So looks like this is now done. And if I actually pop open the network information here, I can connect to my new VPN, and it worked. And now I'm going to pop over to my storage account and show you what we actually did. So if I click into the resource group, you'll see here's my resource group and my storage account. And then you see I have a private endpoint and the network interface. So really you can think about that private endpoint object as connecting your storage account and your virtual network interface that has your IP address. So if I click into that, you'll see I have the IP address. I'm going to copy and paste that. So quick copy it. And now I'm going to do a one-time step that's just required for this demo and limited preview. I'm actually going to add this to my host file. And this is just a limitation with how we've done the Kerberos authentication in the private preview of the AD feature. So we won't require this when you go to public preview. And I'll paste in the storage account name. And save the file. And now if I run this testnet connection, you'll see that it actually works. Let me type it out here, computer name. And port 445, good. And it works instantly, and you see that it actually went over the VPN adapter that I had just created. But let's look at this, how this actually works if I opened up File Explorer. Just like I expect, I can select the storage account and go to the share just like I did before, and everything still works. So this is going over my VPN, and just like before, I can see my files. Thank you. So here's the resources I mentioned. We'll have these again at the end of the deck, so you can take a quick screenshot now, but don't worry if you miss it because we'll have it in a minute again. So the final thing I wanted to talk about before I hand the mic back to Fabian is the fact that we are able to do the applications. So One of the great examples of this is this idea of running the SQL Server failover cluster instance on top of premium file shares. So here's a set of premium file shares. It's mounted over SMB. And of course, SQL Server has supported this kind of scenario for a very long time against a scale-out file server. But now they're also supporting it against Azure File Shares, premium file shares. So one of the great things that this lets you do is it enables really efficient use of storage, because not only does premium file share support bursting, as Fabian indicated, but also it supports easy scale up and scale down. So you could imagine a job that you're going to run once a week, scale up your instance, run it over the weekend, and then scale down at the end and let it sit in a smaller state. So you're not paying for a ton of storage. So I'm not going to demo this. We'd love to demo it. We just don't have time in a 45-minute session. So there's the link. It's in our table of contents for Azure Files. So if you want to go see it, it's there. And then the final thing I want to talk about is really the Linux applications. So one of the things that we found, no matter how great SMB is, and believe me, and I'm sure Ned can tell you as well, SMB is awesome. Some of the customers just say, hey, I can't because my app was written for local file system on Linux, or my app was written specifically for NFS, and maybe I don't even have the source code anymore, or maybe my third-party provider didn't certify it for SMB, or maybe I actually have a hard requirement that I need some POSIX behavior, and so the Win32 behavior you get with Azure File Shares just isn't enough. So we wanted you to be able to easily move to the cloud and adopt the cloud in Azure File Shares for these kinds of things, so we're providing NFS 4.1 support. So I have a quick sneak preview of this that I want to share. So let me flip to my PC here. And I have SSH'd into a Ubuntu box in the cloud. And just to prove it, I'll quick show you that this isn't actually PowerShell like it looks. This is real Linux. So I'm going to just quick copy in my information that I need to mount this. So the storage account name first, the file share name, and I'll put as well the mount path under the mount folder and create that. There we go. And then finally I'll copy the mount command in. So this mount command will mount the file share with NFS. So I'll paste it. There we go. And it mounted. Now one of the things before I move on I want to just point out is if you've done this for SMB before, you would have presumably used the storage account key to do this. And you don't see a storage account key in this mount command. So this is because the NFS 4.1 implementation on Azure Files actually is reliant on the virtual networks and the service endpoints to provide the auth. Because actually NFS doesn't have built in the same kind of authentication and authorization that SMB does. So I can prove to you quick that this is actually mounted. So I'll look at my mounts and it appears in the list. And now let's start to do something interesting with it. So I'll navigate to the mount, and this is a brand new file share that I created for this demo. So I don't actually have any files in it yet, but let me go ahead and create a file. So there I have created a file, and let me just create a link to that file. So I'm going to do two interesting things here. First, I did a hard link. So a hard link is a feature that we don't currently support for SMB on Azure Files. And then the second interesting thing that I did was, if you'll notice, I actually did an uppercase and a lowercase file. And so on Win32 file systems, you actually have case preserving, but case insensitivity. So these would be the same file on Windows. But if I actually look at this, you'll see that not only do I have two different files, but I actually have the link just like I expect. And if I go in and modify one of the links, I'll do that here. Test modification, cool. Now, not only did the source file change just like this, but the actual linked file will change as well. So there's the original file. So in this way, NFS 4.1 can be used on Azure Files. So now that we've shown this, I want to just hit a few of the limitations you'll see when we take this to our initial limited preview. So first, we're going to be bringing this to SSD premium file storage to begin with. And this is really just because of the scenarios we're targeting, looking for people to run databases and the kind of stuff that Fabian mentioned premium file shares are useful for. I already mentioned the restriction to virtual networks and service endpoints as the method of auth. This also includes encryption. These things will be added in later because oftentimes folks will use plugins for NFS to provide those functionalities that NFS doesn't natively provide. And then finally, just like we have on SMB, we have a REST API for SMB. We won't have that to start for NFS. So we intend to bring it, but the consequence of not having it at the initial preview is things like Azure Backup or AZ Copy won't be there on day one. So there's the link at the bottom. Again, we'll have this later if this is something that interests you, so there'll be a good survey to fill out. But for now, I'll hand back to Fabian.
Thank you, Will. Awesome. Great demos. I think Will has really shown you some of the core functionality that we were really hoping to get very, very quickly into Azure File Shares. And this is going to make running a file share as a server replacement really a viable option. And now let's dive a bit back into File Sync and let's look at what's new in File Sync. In the last couple of months or since the last Ignite, we've basically focused a lot on performance. We now have parallel upload, download. We have steadily increased the number of items per second that we are processing on your server with virtually using the same amount of resources on your server. So it's becoming a more and more performance service as we go. And in the next semester, we're focusing more on performance as well. We have added a ton of health metrics to Azure File Sync. There are Azure monitors, there is alerting that you can now do. One of the cool new things that is going to come up is, we talked about this on-premises performance cache. Now when you're caching, you want to know, is my cache big enough? And we will give you insight. We will give you a chart that says, what's my cache hit rate on that particular server for that particular folder? And if my cache hit rate doesn't look good, then I can add a little bit more storage. I can cache more files, which means now I'm sort of getting to the appropriate level of hot files in my organization. And you can see that cache hit rate increase. And when I add yet a little bit more storage, I suddenly don't see an increase in cache hit rate anymore. That means, well, that added storage wasn't necessary. So I can scale that back, and I found my optimum size for that particular folder as a cache. So that's just one example of the amount of insights that we're going to enable for you in the next couple of weeks, and that we already have enabled. We also increased scale. These are really not hard limits. These are very soft limits. There is nothing enforcing them, and the system won't fall over if you have 101 million items in your file share, but these are our tested limits. This is what we test with, and we feel pretty confident that at 100 million items in a file share, we'll probably cover a good chunk of your use cases. So another very important aspect that we've gotten questions about over and over is you've probably trained your users to do self-service restore. You don't want to get a ticket every now and then when a customer wants to, or one of your information workers wants to restore a previous version of a file. So how do we do self-service restore? Right now, you're doing it with previous versions. And I want to just dive in there and basically talk a bit about that Azure File Sync is going to become aware and working compatible with the previous versions feature in Windows Server. So what is previous versions? For those of you that don't know, here I have a mounted file share on a VM, on a client machine. I can look at any file here. And if I right-click on that file and I go to previous versions, I'll get my previous versions tab. And that tab lists the available versions I can either restore from or open. Let's just open this here. And what you can see is these are clearly two different versions of the file that I can have the user restore from. So this is the functionality that you want to enable. But how does previous versions actually work? Some of you may know previous versions basically is supported by the volume shadow copy service, or VSS. So when you set up VSS on your volume, you're going to go and take as many snapshots as you can store on that volume and what your schedule dictates. So far, so good. This is how previous versions works today. Now let's add sync to that server. If we add sync to this, well, nothing's really different, because just adding sync means you now have the same set of files in a file share as you have on the server. Everything's the same. It actually becomes interesting when you add cloud tiering to this mix. So let's add tiering. When we add tiering, we'll start to tier some files off to the cloud. They won't actually be local to your cache anymore. And when they're not local to your cache, what does this mean to a previous version of a file that is no longer really local? Our live version of the file references the file in the share. So we can always transparently recall it and serve it to the user when they want to access it. But if a user wants to restore from a previous version, where is that linking to? Where is that content stored? So this is a missing functionality we had until very recently. And in the Azure File Sync agent version 9 that will ship before the end of the year, we actually fixed that issue. And we've brought in new functionality that will allow you to enable previous version compatibility on volumes where you use cloud tiering. And you basically simply run this command. And when you run this command, we'll make sure that we keep a stable file version in the cloud for as long as you have the VSS snapshot on premises. You will be able, or your users will be able to reference that transparently and just click on the restore button or click on the open button, just as I have done, and be able to get that previous version back. So that's a really important aspect of enabling administrators to provide self-service restore, such as yourselves. All right, so now one very important aspect of Azure File Sync has always been simplicity. And one of the things that we've done very early on was we've integrated Azure File Sync into Windows Admin Center. And at this show, with the latest version of Windows Admin Center, we're actually shipping a new version of our extension as well. I'm going to give you a quick demo of it, because I think you're going to like it. It is making deploying Azure File Sync really, really simple. So here I am on my machine. It's just a client laptop, and I am looking at my Azure subscription. So let's just look inside that Azure subscription. We're going to look at resource groups. There's the default resource groups. This subscription is completely empty. No resources exist. And what we want to do is we want to deploy Azure File Sync. So let's go ahead, find the server that we want to deploy it to. Let's pick that one, the only one we have. And on the left-hand side there, you can see the Azure File Sync extension to Admin Center. It's really built in. And here we can see this server hasn't been set up. So we click Setup. And what we'll do now is we'll only ask you one question. Where would you like to deploy? Which region would you like to choose? So you can see your subscription. You can see the resource group. You can change that if you want. Let's pick a region here. You can also see agent settings. I could set up at this point. I'm just going to show this to you real quick. There are some options here. You can provide an auto update feature. So as soon as a new GA version becomes available, just update yourself. We're going to set that. I could set a proxy server. Let's hit setup. So as we're setting up, we're actually now making your subscription ready. We're going to look at your resource group. We're going to create the storage sync service, which is the backbone for Azure File Sync. We're downloading the agent to that remote server. And as we're doing that, after the download has finished, we start installing it. And after installation, we create that trust relationship between your server and your storage sync service so that you can start managing that server from the cloud. And that just takes a little moment here. And once that's done, we can now actually look into the extension. And here we see that's the storage sync service that was created. And we can go to the Azure portal to look at that. And here this is the storage sync service here that we've created. And here's in the registered servers, we see our file server that we've just deployed to. And in order to set up sync, we need sync groups. But we don't want to do that in the Azure portal. We want to do that right from within Admin Center. So we can hit sync a folder. All we need to do is browse to a location that has a folder that we're interested in syncing. Could also be the root of a volume. And now we provide a few resource names because everything's new. There's nothing in my subscription. So let's create a sync group that dictates where stuff's syncing to. Let's create a file share in Azure. Let's create a storage account that contains that file share. This name needs to be globally unique, so I'm going to give it a slightly different name. And down here, I can pick a performance option and a resiliency option or redundancy option. I can hit Setup Sync. And when we are setting up sync now, all these resources are going to be automatically deployed. There is nothing that I need to do from an Azure Files perspective or Azure File Sync perspective other than just sit there and wait and see it happen. And while this is going on in the background, I've already shown you the storage sync service that was created in the first wizard, and we've registered our server to that storage sync service. So that was the trust relationship we had to create. And in this last step, we're creating the storage account and we're creating the file share. So now all we need to do is we need to connect our registered server and our file share, basically the location that we want to sync, to the Azure file share, and we do that by deploying a sync group. So all of these steps are being taken care of automatically. And now we can move on to our VM has finished. And as this is finishing up, I can see my server endpoint here. I can see into the sync group. I can see that we are actually having a cloud endpoint, server endpoint connecting the file share that we're going in here to the server. And with very little time, we're already seeing some files here coming in. It's not complete yet, but some files have already started to sync. It's a pretty quick process. So all of this just from within Admin Center. I didn't have to leave Admin Center at all. And that allows you to quickly do a proof of concept or anything else that you're looking for. All right. Thank you. So now a quick topic that may or may not affect all of you, which is Stor Simple. Can I get a raise of hands of who of you has Stor Simple or has heard of Stor Simple that wants to? All right, there's a couple of people here. I'm going to keep this really short. But I want to include it because it's a really important topic for those of you that have a Stor Simple, because Stor Simple has announced end of life. You have about 2 years to move off of it. And Stor Simple is really, from a functionality perspective, a subset. So Azure File Sync is an ideal replacement, and we have a cloud-side migration strategy for that. I'll walk you very quickly through this. And if you have a Stor Simple, come see us afterwards. I'm going to give you an email address. You can just reach out to us, and we'll help you in your migration. So the basic functionality here is we do a cloud-side migration. Through a virtual appliance, we're going to set up Azure File Sync on a VM. That VM will then transport the files to an Azure file share that you can then connect to a Windows server as a local cache, and that will simply do the same thing. It's basically the same functionality as your Stor Simple appliance, just more feature-rich, and you could connect multiple servers to the same location, which you couldn't do with Stor Simple. Then in the, after this initial sync, we're basically going ahead and removing user access. So we want to keep the migration very, let's say, we want to keep it available to users to use, and we want to keep the downtime minimal. So at some point in time, we do have to cut off. We take one more volume clone, is what Stor Simple calls it, and we're going to mount that volume clone, and we're going to sync just the delta. So that delta will be very small, and will be finishing quickly. And so you can move your users over so that in the end, you can deprovision all the pieces that you have in your Stor Simple deployment and in this migration deployment, and you're set with just a normal Azure File Sync deployment for you to enjoy and move forward with. So email us if you have a Stor Simple and you want to do a migration. Please go ahead, do that. We'll help you. So one more thing before we finish our presentation is I just want to call out that a Windows Server has been a very applicable software OS for you guys because it's very extensible. There's a large ecosystem of partners that have been extending the Windows Server functionality. And for us on Azure File Share, where we're saying, well, we can actually replace some of the Windows Server functionality, being especially surrounding the file server space, we want to make sure that we send the message we are an ecosystem, or we are a platform as well for ecosystem partners to tie into. And this is by no means all of them. It just picked like 2 Paas services that are integrating with us. Azure Backup obviously is very important. McAfee has just announced an antivirus and DLP solution as a Paas offering. So this is something that I just wanted to quickly touch base. There are way more partners. Just picked a couple of Paas services here. So here is the slide that Will was referring to. This has sort of all the preview links in here. This would be a good slide to look up after the show or take a quick picture of. And I really want to leave you with the ideas around a file share being the center of your new file services in Azure, and then being able to use the file share directly through VPN with AD integration, or where you need it as an on-premises, with an on-premises cache with Azure File Sync, and you can really modernize your file serving infrastructure. And last but not least, we have fantastic integration with Net's storage migration service. And the storage migration service really helps you move off of older Windows Server versions. If you're looking at retiring a Windows Server 2008, which is a really important topic, then with the storage migration service, you can very easily move this to a more modern server where you deploy minimal storage. And you basically move this over and have a cloud tiering-aware copy engine built into the storage migration service. And that's something that allows you to do that migration from a big storage footprint to a small storage footprint using Azure File Sync in the mix. So with that, thank you everybody for joining us.